Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is definitely one that I didn't expect to make. Turned out to be a pretty interesting life lesson, but yeah, furthermore, let's just get into the video. I do want to preface it with saying there's a few details here and there missing just because we were very sporadic on pulling the video camera out during such a traumatic experience. It all started with going to Hamburger Rock, which is just this rock to see. Actually nothing special. The locals even said it's nothing special. So we went to go see that, and then we saw this road that led up the mountain, and there was a group of Jeeps, which we were in a Jeep Cherokee, and there were a group of Jeeps, so we asked them on the map, it said it led to Moab, which was where we were going. And they were like, oh yeah, that path's fine, it's wide, it's a little rocky, but as long as you have four-wheel drive, you'll be good. So we're like, okay, we'll do it. And then basically the rest of the story happened. We have got ourselves onto this road and it's pretty stressful. This is our view at the moment. So we're an hour, a little over an hour in to the back road to Moab. And it's not for the weak. And I'll admit I'm weak. So we're definitely weak. We've got quite the distance to go. We've covered good ground. We've got quite the distance to go. Absolutely no cell phone service since around noon, 11:30 or noon today, and it's 4 o'clock. So yeah, still trucking. So as you saw, the road that we were on, pretty wide, rocky, like they said. We were doing fine, just going pretty slow. The scenery was so pretty, and then this is when we broke down. We hit a rock and busted what we thought was the oil pan, and oil was leaking everywhere. So we, at that point, started freaking out, crying. We're like 2 hours into this road in the middle of nowhere. So that's when we started crying, freaking out. I was like, we gotta pack the bag and start walking. So we turned around and started walking. Into like quite literally the worst day of our lives. The car broke down. We are so far out here in the middle of nowhere. Like, I can't even explain it to you, at least 30 miles in, possibly. We have to walk. We have no service. We've tried to call emergency. Nothing's going through. So we're hoping to see somebody on the trail, but we're walking back. Like, literally nothing in sight. Not a soul. Worst day of our lives. Their sun is so hot. I've got a jacket on. Got this over my face. Try not to burn. The wind is nice because it's keeping us cool, but my skin is super red and just really warm. At this point, we had been walking for almost 2 hours. We thought it was about 9 miles. It ended up being 6, a little over 6 that we walked. And then we we saw these people in the distance coming towards us, and Morgan was like, Rachel, that's somebody right there. And as they got closer, I was like, they're on dirt bikes. And so they pulled up, we waved them down, we're crying, everything else. Up to this point, we had done all the above. Puke, cried, screamed, yelled at each other. I mean, it was a very dramatic experience. But then they pulled up and we were trying to explain ourselves, and they were just like, you all are in shock, you need to calm down, because we were just like rambling, like we need help. And so these people were backcountry off-roading, so they had their dirt bikes packed full of like gear and stuff. And so they were offering us water, portable chargers, food, anything. And then they unloaded all their stuff. We made a stack of rocks so that they could know where their stuff was when they came back. And we hopped on the back of their dirt bikes. Just fun details to add. The dirt bike that I was on didn't have a back seat, a backrest, or back foot pedestals, like passenger pedestals for your feet. So I rode 45 minutes on a dirt bike with my feet, like my legs spread out. It was pretty fun. Could say I will never experience that again, but hopefully. but pretty interesting experience. Once we got to the Hamburger Rock again, which was Indian Creek, basically the start of this 4-wheel drive path, there was a couple of guys in trucks. There were 4 guys, 2 trucks. They were packing up dirt bikes because they had just been riding around. And so the guys on the dirt bikes took us over to them, and they were like, do you all care to help these ladies? Where are you all going? They're like, we're going to Monticello. And so we kind of explained what was going on. Everyone was super kind. We were very aware of how sketchy this was to be with all these randoms. The guys in the trucks were locals, so they knew more of the area and kind of guided us on like what to do from here. Still very sketchy to do, but at that point we didn't have any choice. We didn't see many people on our way out. On the dirt bikes we didn't see anybody until we got to the guys in the trucks. From there, the guys in the trucks took us. They were going to take us to Monticello, but we kind of talked to them in the truck and we were like, what is there in Monticello? Like tow trucks, hotels, like what's going on? And they're like, yeah, there's not much in Monticello. And so they drove us an extra 45 minutes to Moab, which was so kind. And they sat with us in a parking lot and kind of continued to drive around town until we found a hotel. Just because Moab is a very touristy town. The population I think is like 7,000 to 9,000, but with tourists it's like 20,000 to 22,000, to give you kind of a reference on that. So they didn't think we would be able to find a hotel room, but luckily we did. And then yeah, so that's when we got in the hotel. We've made it to a hotel after a 9-mile hike in the desert, heat, dust, no cell service. Puked, cried, all of the above in the desert, and we're trying to figure out how to get a tow for the car. And yep, that's about sums up our day. Just ordered a pizza because it's the first thing we've ate since roughly 7 o'clock this morning. So alright, we have woke up in the hotel. Luckily they have breakfast, so free breakfast, so we're waiting on our biscuits and gravy to cool down and drinking some water. And towing place, there's 2. We're right in the middle of 2 towing places, so that's our next stop. We're gonna walk there. And the rental place opens in like 10 minutes, so we're gonna give them a call and let them know what's going on with the car. Yeah, other than that, we showered and the water was brown. So that was good that we got to shower. They had tons of lotion to put all over our bodies because we're so sunburnt. But we did have to put our clothes back on from yesterday. No toothbrushes, nothing, but just very thankful to not have been stranded in the desert longer than we were. So I'll give you an update when we have one. Update. Rental company said that since it is not on a paved and well-kept road, that it is our responsibility to get it back and it has to be fixed. Kind of the response we expected, so here we go to towing companies. Okay, we think we got lucky at this towing place. We called one towing place and they couldn't have anybody out today. So we walked over to this one and they have 2 calls in the same area that our car's at, so note that. But they're putting us before those others, which is so kind. But yeah, we're waiting on them to grab the truck and then I think we're headed out there. But we're gonna ride with them because they don't know where the car's at and we can't really explain them because we don't live here, so. We are fueling up here at the gas station. We're fueling up in the tow truck. They decided to take a truck and trailer versus tow truck because they don't know what it's gonna look like out there. And so yeah, we're about an hour and a half from the entrance and then the car's about an hour and a half from there. So the people here are like another level of comfortable with
way too comfortable.
People that aren't here like us, aren't from here like us. Like we're currently behind this gate is our tow truck driver's home. He wanted to change his shoes and get a bag of chips and it was on the way, so we pulled off and
we're just waiting for him.
We're waiting for him to get back. we've made it back to the tow place. 5 hours later, roughly 6-ish actually. Hopefully we only get charged for 5 considering it's $200 per hour. They are putting oil in it to see where it's leaking from. Fingers crossed that it's the oil filter versus the oil pan.
Pray for us.
We are starving. Can't really afford food at this point because we have no idea how much this is going to be. It's going to be at least $1,000 because of just the tow. So we'll hit you up later with an update. We have left the towing place and we are in our own vehicle. Finally,
About time.
it is fixed. It ended up just being the oil filter.
Thank God.
Versus the oil pan, so it was a much cheaper fix. And the guy was actually so nice he didn't charge us for that at least, because it was $200 an hour. It ended up being $1,200 just for the tow. He was super nice. Everybody here was super helpful. We've officially been here for 18 hours and we are finally leaving the Canyonlands. We're in McDonald's drive-thru to get a drink before we head home. Woke up really early this morning thinking that we needed to get to the rental company earlier so that we could explain ourselves, all that good stuff. But we ended up just pulling up to the booth and got out, and he was like, we'll check it over. The shuttle's here so you guys can go ahead and go. We'll email you your receipt and all that good stuff, and you'll get your deposit back within 1 to 3 days, which obviously we won't get our deposit back within 1 to 3 days, but yeah, maybe expecting a call, maybe expecting something in the receipt. But we're at the airport and she's checking her bag, probably gonna grab some food, and yeah, so that's the end of the being stranded in the Utah desert vlog. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.